Hello and welcome to a new devlog video for Peasant Uprise. The tools system has gone through two major iterations so far. The first one was more focused on having the notion of items that could be used by the peasants, not only being able to have the tools in hand, but also change them as the job required. But tools did not get stored and simply magically appear in the peasant's hand. So the second iteration was to make tools persist in the world. This was a big iteration that I made a devlog for. You can find the link in the description. But till this point, I was mostly viewing tools as a means to do the work at camp. They did have a damage property, but that was about it. When it came down to combat, tools did not provide any additional flavor or interest. So this third iteration goal was to look at tools as weapons and what can they bring into combat. So I had the idea of adding special abilities to weapons that could be triggered based on a chance roll. I decided to categorize weapons into three groups. Tools with the slash ability may inflict bleed, which is a damage over time debuff on the target's health. For example, the axe fits into this category. Tools with the pierce ability may yield a critical strike, and the dagger will be an example of this kind of tool. Last but not least, tools with the blunt ability may stun the target, and a hammer could do just that. Weapons have a percentage chance to trigger their special ability, and I also kind of split them into three tiers that would also impact the production cost. The categories and tiers allow me to seek some opportunities to add new weapons to fill the roster, so it resulted in 5 new weapons. 2 for the peasants, the shovel and the scythe, and 3 more for the enemies, the mace, the pike, and the broadsword. As I was putting together the spreadsheet, it was clear to me that this was a great choice. Weapons are now very diverse. There are weapons that have a high DPS but low chance to trigger their special ability. There are weapons that have low DPS and ability chance but consume very little energy, which makes you hit at full damage for a longer period of time. And of course, there are more support weapons which have a higher chance to trigger their ability even though they themselves don't do that much damage. The weapon ability chance is very low for peasants. However, there are other aspects of the game that can help improve this chance. For one, all peasants have a preferred tool, in which case using that tool will increase their ability chance. I've also added a new trait called Toolmaster, which will increase weapon ability chance by 5% for each upgrade. I describe Peasant Uprise as an RTS and RPG hybrid. And when it comes to combat, this is a challenge. The current system of point-and-click combat and equal units engage is good enough for an RTS. But for an RPG, the expectations might be a bit different. But I do believe I'm getting to that sweet spot where both game genres meet in harmony. Finally, I need a way to display something on the screen that points out that the special tool ability has been successfully triggered. And for that, I'm using a particle system. A bubble display over the target will also be shown, which will tell the player what ability has been triggered. But I do think the particle effect is a lot more satisfying. One thing to point out is that both peasants and enemies inherit from an actor class, and therefore they share a lot of the same properties. In fact, they also share the same combat module and skills. So what I'm trying to say is that these additions also impact the enemy soldiers in a way that they can also trigger their weapon ability onto the peasants. And for the moment of truth, let's see it all in action, bumping the ability chance to 100% on the Peasant's tool. After this iteration, the tools or weapons system is now a bit more robust, and the players might want to put some thought into what tools to craft and what weapons to take into combat. Of course, it's not just about getting the best tool, because you would not be able to cut wood with a pitchfork, so you still need tier 1 tools for camp activities. That's what I like about this system, that for now it does seem like each tool has its purpose. A tier 3 weapon may do more damage, but would consume a lot of energy and would not allow the peasant to sustain full damage for long. Maybe if you anticipate a battle to drag for longer, smaller weapons might be a better choice. Before showcasing a time-lapse of the maze model, please take a moment to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click on the bell to receive notifications of future uploads. Thanks! With that said, I'll see you in the next update.